What's goody? Hey man, so we are back with another playoff recap, man, and we're gonna start off with the last game of tonight. There was three games tonight, but we are going to start off with the one that is the most fresh in my mind: Wolves at Lakers. Lakers tied the series up, which is a good thing. The Lakers, this was a must-win game for them, and they did win the game, so that's good. But if I'm a Lakers fan, I'm not gonna lie to you. This win, you got the win, and it was a must-win game, so you're happy with that. But this game didn't look good, bro. Like, this was a super ugly game from both teams, and I will stand confidently on the fact that if even one more player, had it been Nas Reed or DiVincenzo or Nikhil Alexander Walker or Jaden McDaniels or Mike Conley, had one more player for the Wolves just giving them something offensively, they would have won this game. Now, they didn't, so that's a hypothetical, whatever, and I understand that. All I'm saying is, this win was really showed a lot of really concerning signs for the Lakers, in my opinion, and it just wasn't a good win, but a win's a win. So let's just go ahead and start from the beginning. Let me tell you right now, I knew that the Lakers won as soon as Gabe Vincent hit that fading corner three I think there was like 5 minutes left in the first quarter. As soon as I saw him check in and hit that shot, I said, yeah, the Lakers aren't losing this game. Now, granted, at that time, the Lakers looked like a much better team than they ended up looking like for the rest of the game. That was when the Lakers' energy was super high. The offense was great. There was a whole bunch of moving pieces. They were getting open shots. Luka was absolutely frying and everything like that. And that didn't end up all continuing. Like, Luka did end up having a good game and everything like that, and some of those things did continue. But in the beginning of this game, I thought the Lakers were going to come out here and blow the Timberwolves out just because of how good they looked on both sides of the ball and the foul trouble that the Timberwolves was in, bro. Nas Reed and Dante DiVincenzo came off the bench, and in like 10 to 15 minutes of basketball, already each had 4 fouls. That was nuts. Like, I understand people on Twitter talking about Adam Silver made a call, blah, 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 and I'm not really with all that, but it was super, super interesting how deep in foul trouble the Wolves were, not just early, but throughout the whole game. When you have two key bench guys getting 4 fouls in the first half, and then you got Julius Randle ending up with 5, and you got other guys ending up with 4 or 5 fouls at the game. It was just really interesting, and it was really, really bad for the Wolves. And that was a big part of the reason that I think DiVincenzo and Nas Reed ended up struggling offensively, was because of the foul trouble. They got into that foul trouble early, and it didn't allow for them to really get the type of rhythm offensively that they wanted to get, especially coming off of a hot game one for a guy like Nas Reed. And I just think that was the reason that he struggled tonight, or at least a big part of the reason that he struggled tonight. But I'm going to give a ton of credit to the Lakers defense, bro. Now, while the Lakers did only score 95 points themselves, they held Minnesota to 85, and neither team could hit a three to save their lives. But the Lakers defense deserves a lot of credit for the things that they did to Minnesota tonight. Now, granted, a lot of things were like just sloppy. Like, this wasn't one of those 94 to 85 games where it was like just a super, super defensive battle. It was one of those games where it was more just like a sloppy battle. And there was just a lot of stuff that was ugly. Like, early in the game, Luka Doncic was frying Rudy Gobert, and that ended up continuing for pretty much most of the game. And you could tell Rudy Gobert was trying his best, but like, it's just, there's not much he can do on Luka Doncic out on the perimeter. But then just offensively, bro, Rudy Gobert, there was a lot of moments in this game where all I could think was get Rudy Gobert off the court. I was texting it into the group chat multiple times in all caps, like, get Rudy Gobert out, because it was just looking bad offensively. And then when you get to the defensive side of the ball, and these guys are isoing him up, whether it be Austin Reeves the late game or just or Luka Doncic throughout the game, it was just really ugly, and I didn't like to see it. Austin Reeves yet again was struggling, had a mid-game, and I don't know why this man thinks LeBron James is 26, but stop throwing this dude these high-ass lobs. This is not Miami LeBron James. This is not Cleveland first stint LeBron James. He's not, especially not in the playoffs, when his body is already tired from the whole regular season. He's not just about to be catching these lobs where you're throwing them hoes to the top of the backboard. Now, the second one in the fourth quarter, I give Austin Reeves a pass because LeBron called for it. But even then, he's throwing them too high. Like, you can throw him a lob. He's still LeBron James. He can still dunk. But you just can't throw it 12, 14 feet up in the air and think he's going to go get it like he used to be able to do. You got to throw it at a more reasonable height. Speaking of LeBron, had a solid game, did the things that needed to be done, but for like a 5-minute stretch in that fourth quarter, the man looked absolutely terrible, and I was just thinking, damn, you got to give him some rest or something because this does not look like LeBron. It was looking really, really ugly for LeBron for like a 4 to 5 minute stretch in that fourth quarter. But then he ended up getting that steal on Anthony Edwards, made some big plays down the stretch, and showed us that LeBron James is still LeBron James, and he knew what was at stake, and he came up big in those moments when he knew what was at stake. Um, let me think. I went kind of like all over the place with my notes. Let me just make sure. Mike Conley, he didn't give the Wolves a damn thing tonight. Now, granted, he hustled for some rebounds and stuff, so I guess I'll give him that. But dude, offensively, this man did not give them a damn thing. And speaking of not giving them a damn thing, the Lakers role players could not hit an open three. And now, granted, that wasn't just the Lakers role players. That was just everybody on both teams. Nobody could hit a three for the most part. But there were so many times when the Lakers role players were getting, I'm talking about butt naked wide open threes. Whether it be LeBron or it be Rui or it be Austin Reeves or it be Luca, them boys could not hit them hoes. And it was just bad. Dorian Finney-Smith, like them boys could not hit them hoes. And it was ugly to watch. It was ugly to see. Minnesota went on a little run shortly before halftime, but the Lakers didn't really let them gain too much momentum. But then that run in the fourth quarter, I think that is where things got really, really scary for the Lakers. And that was the moment where I was like, dude, Minnesota just needs somebody in this moment to step up. And even Anthony Edwards in those moments didn't look like the Anthony Edwards that we're used to seeing. He didn't have a bad game or anything like that, but in some of those moments, those are shots that you expect Anthony Edwards to hit, and those are shots that he normally would hit in a big moment, and he just wasn't hitting them tonight. Don't know if that injury is bothering him at all or anything like that, but I'm not going to give him that excuse. If you go out there and play and you play damn near the whole game, you got to do something. And like I said, it wasn't his worst game or anything like that, and a lot of it is credit to the Lakers defense as to why he was so inefficient. But at the same time, it's like a lot of these shots that he was generating, you expect him to make, and he just didn't make them tonight. It was just one of those nights. Like I said, there was absolutely no offense for Minnesota at all, especially not outside of Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards. And even the offense that they were generating wasn't like anything insane where they combined for 60 or 70 points. It was more like the rest of the offense was so bad that even them having a midnight, Julius Randle played well. Even Anthony Edwards having a midnight just stood out as him making him look better than he actually had a night. Sorry. Making his performance look better than it actually was just because of how ass everybody around him was, with the exception of Julius Randle. Those two guys were doing everything they could for this team, and nobody else could hit a freaking shot the whole game. I don't even think another player scored in double digits for them. It was ugly. And one of the things that I really took away from this game, even if the Lakers make it out of this series, which I low-key am questioning their ability to do, they're not a championship team. This team needs a lot more things than I thought they needed when they first made the Luka Doncic trade. They are still missing a lot of things. They need more consistent shooting. They need a better bench. They need a center. Like, they just need more things than what I originally thought was just a center. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought it was originally just going to be a center that was going to be the problem and maybe some consistent shooting. Whereas it's a few things. It's a lot of things for the Lakers that they need. Now, I'm going to go ahead and skip over Grizzlies at Thunder. I didn't watch a single second of this game, and it was mostly because it was on at the same time as Pacers-Bucks, and I was watching Pacers-Bucks, but it was also because I didn't give a damn to watch this game. I was box score watching and everything like that and keeping an eye on Twitter, see if anything crazy was happening. The Thunder are just the better team. The Thunder's defense is suffocating. The Grizzlies have no chance. Jaren Jackson Jr. had a good game at least, so that's a positive, I guess. Get the series off national TV. I don't want to see it on national TV. Why that wasn't on NBA TV, but Bucks-Pacers was tonight is beyond me, but yeah, it's over with. Get that series off national TV right now. Now, to the first game of the night, Bucks-Pacers. Something that was immediately clear from the jump, the Bucks defense isn't good. It just isn't good. You let them score a career an all-time playoff high in a quarter with 40 points in the first quarter. You let Indiana do that if you're Milwaukee. That's not good. Kyle Kuzma started the game off with 0 points for his first 8 to 10 minutes of the game. He ended up having a better game, but still they need a lot more from him with him being a guy that was supposed to be their third option. Didn't end up being their third option tonight. You could argue he was because Dame didn't do a damn thing. But, you know what I'm saying? The guy that's supposed to be the third option behind Giannis and Dame, you expect him to do a little more. Like I said, he ended up having an okay game. It was much better than game one, but it started out at ugly. He didn't get his first shot until some point in the second quarter, and that was the first shot he hit the whole series. That's not good. You need better than that. This was something that started early in the game, but then continued throughout the rest of the game. The Bucks turnovers, dude, were absolutely killing them. They just couldn't keep a hold on the ball, and it's like Indiana's defense is much improved from last season, but it's like when with Dame coming back, y'all gotta keep a hold on the ball, especially when you've got a team like Indiana who was just having every single player play well. You can't feed into that by just letting them, by just turning the ball over again and again and again. Bobby Portis tonight, absolutely phenomenal. I'm talking about outside of Giannis was the best player the Bucks had. He was absolutely hooping. He was doing so much. He was hitting big time shots in the clutch. Him and Giannis were the only ones that could literally do anything. They were so big in the clutch. Bobby Portis had huge minutes tonight. That's the Bobby Portis the Bucks need, and it still wasn't enough. Kevin Porter Jr. You were good for the Bucks for like that second half of the season, especially like later when Dame got hurt. You were pretty good for the Bucks. Tonight you were ass. I'm talking about for almost every single minute that you were on the court, you looked like the worst player on it. And especially in that first half, dude, in the second quarter, I was screaming to take you out. Like you looked unplayable. You were getting like you could tell he was getting pissed off. You could tell that he was losing his composure and it was bad. A guy for the Pacers that probably isn't going to get too much love, and I didn't really look at the box score for him, but a guy that probably isn't going to get too much love just because of how well everybody else played on the Pacers tonight, Thomas Bryant. Dude, defensively early in the game, his minutes were so crucial. Even with Giannis in, his minutes defensively were absolutely phenomenal. He was doing so much for this team with rim protection and everything like that. So big ups to Thomas Bryant. Got to give that man his credit. Brook Lopez. I have some things to say about you, but I will give you credit for how massive of a role you played in the Bucks' second quarter run. Granted, that run didn't end up meaning anything, but it was a good run, and you were a pivotal piece in that run. So congrats to you. The Pacers pick and roll with Tyrese Halliburton and Miles Turner was just killing it, at least in the first half. It was just killing the Bucks. It kind of seemed like every single time the Pacers needed a bucket, they could just go to that and they could trust it. But then late in the game, it wasn't that was killing them. It was Siakam in the third quarter having a great third quarter where he was pretty quiet in the first half and then went out there and like doubled his point total in the third quarter. That was big. And then in the clutch, Andrew Nembhard hitting big shots, finished with a great game, played some great defense on Damian Lillard. I'm talking about phenomenal game from Andrew Nembhard. That man might be the best. I think I said this in after game one. That man might be the best, like the biggest playoff riser of a role player in the playoffs right now in the NBA. Dude goes out there and hoops in the playoffs, and I don't know what it is, but he was hooping on both sides of the ball tonight. Big ups to him. It was just obvious tonight that the Pacers are the better team. They have better role players, whether it be Andrew Nembhard or Aaron Nesmith or Benedict Mathurin off the bench. Like they just have better role players. They have guys that come in, they know their role, and they didn't have a guy that came out here and scored 30 or 40, but they had like 5 guys get 15 plus, and it was just the Bucks defense couldn't stop really any of them. And that's just not a good look for the Bucks. For the Bucks offensively, Giannis was doing literally everything. It was Giannis and Bobby Portis, and that was it. Dame started off pretty well, and I was impressed with the way he started after coming off of that injury, but then he fell off quick. He ended up finishing with like 4 made field goals out of like 13. Had a terrible game, just was missing clutch shots that were like pretty open threes. It was bad. Damian Lillard just did not have a good game, and I'm not going to hate on him too much. He's coming off of an injury, but dog, it was bad. It was ugly. It was really ugly, especially for the trash that he was talking while he was hurt in game one and the trash that he was talking. And I'm not mad at him for talking trash because it is super obvious that these teams do not like each other, which I love that. Like, I love the animosity. I love that energy, especially in the playoffs. I love that they don't like each other. But it's like if you're going to talk all that, you can't be hurt and then you come back and you go 4 for 13 and now you're down 2-0 when Giannis is out there literally just like I said, damn near averaging or might actually be averaging 35 and 15 and he's still losing because you're not there to help. You were hurt the game 1 and then game 2 you come back and you couldn't help him with the damn thing because you were playing like ass. It's not good. Like I said, the Pacers role players were so impactful, and I just think the Bucks got to make some moves in the offseason. Low-key, Giannis might be gone, bro. I'm not going to lie. Like that Giannis might genuinely be out, whether it be this season or anything. I think the writing is on the wall. I think Giannis will not finish his career as a Buck. And whether you think it's fair or unfair, I just don't think it's going to happen because genuinely, where does this roster go? You don't have any first-round picks for like the next 6 or 7 years. You don't have a young player that you are in love with. You don't have, like, Damian Lillard's got injury concerns. You don't have any good role players. There's really nothing you can do. You don't have money to do anything. There's nothing you can do if you're the Bucks, and it's like I don't believe that Giannis is okay with being a top 3, top 4 seed in the top 3, top 4, top 5 seed in the East every single year, getting to damn near 50 wins, being a top 3 guy in MVP voting every single year, and just losing in the playoffs in the first round. I don't think he's okay with it. And I think after they lose, because this series is over, I think after they lose this series, I do think that people are going to start saying some crazy stuff about Giannis, whether it's warranted or not. And I do not believe it's warranted. And I think that's something that's going to be like, yeah, I got to get up out of here and remind these people who the hell I really am. And the last thing I'll say about this game and the last thing I'll say about this video, Brook Lopez, you are 7'1", 300 pounds. Get more than one rebound. I don't care if you're playing on the perimeter. Hey, I don't give a damn if you're playing at half court. You can get more than one rebound. You are there. Let's look at the players on the Bucks that had more rebounds than him, because I know Giannis had 17 or 18. I know Bobby Portis had 12. Let's look at who else had more rebounds than this man. The 7'1" starting center on the Milwaukee Bucks that has been in this league for a decade had 1 rebound, and this isn't even abnormal for him. Kyle Kuzma, 3 boards. Damian Lillard, 3 rebounds. In fact, the only person on this team tonight that didn't have as many or more rebounds than Brook Lopez was Taurean Prince, and he's ass. So I don't really give a damn about what Taurean Prince is doing, because he's terrible. On the other side of the ball, the only Pacers player to have less than 2 rebounds was Benedict Mathurin, who had 1. You're telling me you and Benedict Mathurin finished with the same amount of rebounds? You and Kevin Porter Jr., who played 15 minutes, and to your 16, you finished with the same amount of rebounds? That's a 6'2" point guard who played 1 less minute than you. You were so, like, I don't get how you're 7'1" and get 1 rebound. And this is how many rebounds do you have in game 1? Let's look. I guarantee Brook Lopez didn't have more than 5 rebounds in game 1. I would damn near. I don't believe he even had 3 rebounds in game 1. But let's just go ahead and look, because I'm telling you, bro, it's the most infuriating thing I've ever seen to watch a 7'1" guy. It's the same thing with Jaren Jackson, but to a lesser extent. Brook Lopez in game 1 had 4 rebounds. Yeah, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching, man. All glory to God. Let me know what y'all thought about tonight's games. I'm excited for tomorrow's games. I'm excited to watch the Warriors play tomorrow, see if they can win game 2, which I don't know. I'm going back and forth with that about who my pick is going to be for game 2. So we'll see. I'm excited for tomorrow's games. You'll get another one of these videos tomorrow. And, yeah, man, I love you. Appreciate you. Thank you for watching. And, Brook Lopez, get more than 1 rebound. And, get Giannis some help. All right? Okay.